Testing, 1, 2, testing. 1, 2. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Wait a minute, something's missing. Something's missing. The answer was a hoodie. Hoodie time. Why hoodie time? Because it's chilly and I turn the heat up because for some reason. Hello and welcome. Hope we're having a fantastic day. Music is a little more electric, a little more groovy, as the album I've selected might suggest. We've got like 5 albums right now that I'm totally choosing from for ambient, what I'm just calling ambient noise. Because those are the ones that aren't gonna to ping me on copyright stuff. But that's a little too groovy. We need something. I want something ambient. I want something lo-fi. Is this a better selection? Maybe. We're going to go with this for now. So, ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Happy Friday. Big plans this weekend, maybe? Stuff you want to go do? Always fun. And I guess not if you're working all the weekend and, this ain't your Friday. But we're rambling. And we're saying a whole bunch of nothing about nothing. So let me give you the deal today. And generally for this stream, this thing is for me. We're here for me. Not for me to be, well, I hope I'm a little entertaining. But, I'm not here. The goal isn't to entertain an audience. The goal isn't to bring in a bunch of viewers, become a celebrity. While all nice things, maybe. The goal here is to learn to draw. It's for me to learn to draw. We're not teaching anybody how to draw. I'm not making good art. I'm not delivering a great final product. We're learning to draw, which is something I've wanted to do for decades. And I have had dozens of false starts over the course of those multiple decades. Like, no lie. And I would doodle for maybe a week, buy a bunch of equipment. I think my best stint was 2021, maybe. I've got the notebook with the dates down there, where, I was kind of messing with some Loomis method, doing some figures, trying to draw my anime heads, the stuff we all do. Over lunch. Yeah, I wouldn't say it didn't pan out. I learned some things. I remember some of those things, but at some point we just kind of stopped picking up that sketch pad. And I'd like to not do that. I'd like to commit. And so we're taking my I won't say supernatural ability, but a little bit of discipline that I do have to stream, which is something we did several months, 5 days a week, last fall. Played a whole bunch of factory games, Satisfactory in particular. Anyway, point being, I'm going to combine these two energies. We're going to learn how to draw. Look at this. And we're doing it digitally at the moment. We've decided recently to shift a little more to digital. Now, there's something selected on my OBS that I would like to not have select. There we go. I want to be able to see a clean picture of what we're streaming. And right now what we're streaming is a bunch of colors. We were working through some classes last night. As part of a greater set of courses, Mark Brunet's art school, and kind of in the first section where we're talking about in the first term where we're talking about the software, visual communication, those things. And while he's talking, while any class I'm sitting down and taking, because I'm in a few, I'm registered into a few. We're gonna do with what sticks. Anyway, I try to doodle. I try to draw, follow along while we're doing things. So what is it we're gonna do to warm up? First off, I think there's something keeping me from drawing. It might be opening the Huey on tablet. Oh, it thinks the device is disconnected. I'll disconnect the device. Alright, 1 second. Hopefully I just have to unplug it and plug it back in. But there's a world where I have to get up and start unplugging the back of my computer. We did all the stream tests except this one. This is what gets us. Power saving mode. You were just on. You are plugged in for sure. Alright, let's try the display settings. We know how this works. Yeah, okay, it's not detecting. Alright, let's do some unplugging. It's wild. This is going to require a restart. It's going to require a restart. Oh boy. It's alright. We'll be right back, folks. I guess. I'm just going to restart while I'm live, so maybe we get back fast enough. Go! We'll see how fast this gets out. Because if you restart fast enough, it thinks it's one stream still. So we're gonna hope we can get back into all the stuff before it's a second video. That's the dream. We're leaning in. We're hoping it'll be a thing. Don't worry if this is... by the way, hello. If this is a new video and you didn't see, we're having technical difficulties with our tablet that I think we've resolved with the restart. Probably. Not at all. We may not have solved a single thing. Because right now the device is disconnected, unable to connect, no signal. I've got the display. Let me try the USB cord. That's one thing I didn't pull. I know y'all can hear all of that. we may have ourselves bigger problems. Tablet is not recognizing it is on. So we're going to stumble with some technical stuff. There's a certain point where I probably go offline and we deal with it. We deal with it not live on stream. But I'm going to give myself 5 minutes, maybe 10, to do some troubleshooting. Because I'm good at this. I'm good at the troubleshooting, theoretically. Theoretically, I'm good at figuring that stuff out. I'm a tech guy. Tech stuff just works around me. People come to me for their tech solutions. And I tell you, my headset now is just in shambles. It has been turned and twisted. And that is not the current problem we're facing. But we're going to try to solve that right now. There we go. A couple twists in hopefully the right direction. So, should we on tablet device disconnected? For anyone having the device disconnected error, look at you. One of the reasons I don't completely block Reddit from my history. Alright, that's one solution. That is like remove current driver, reinstall, unplug, plug in. Another solution, delete previous driver files. Just reinstall the Huion driver, help. Next date disconnected again. Of course, the next comment is like Huion's is shit. I do have a new one on the way. But I can do a driver live. We could uninstall or reinstall a new Huion driver. Let's try that. We're not even gonna do a reinstall and reset. We're just gonna go to the download center, grab whatever they have. We've got a couple drivers, and this is the 16 here pin display product series Canvas Pro like 16 from ages ago. Yep, that's the right one. Let's get the Windows driver. Hello, by the way, doing tech support. Hope y'all having a fantastic Friday. Again, the one thing I didn't check, and as soon as I started trying to like write, okay, old version must be uninstalled. Oh, wait a minute. You gonna help me uninstall it? Yes. Because right now it is just acting as a monitor. Working last night, no problems. Never had this issue. It's a great piece of hardware. Absolutely love it. Thank you. Now you're going to initiate the new install without me. Please close all graphics software. Sure. Close Clip Studio Paint. It's the only thing I have running. Let's unplug our tablet and let this bad boy go. Installation completed. Try it now. Okay. Plugging it back in. All the beeps, they're mine, not you. There we go. That's new. That works. Full area of the monitor. Alright. We just need to be good to go. Problem solved. Reinstall driver. It was a new driver too, so hey, we're a little up to date. That being said, new tablet on Wednesday. Probably in the middle of the stream. Probably in the stream, get the tablet, play with it. That's probably the plan. So, expect that. So, here we go. Art. Whole tablet. Let's open up Paint. And voila. There we go. The thing we couldn't do last time that we can do now, we can draw. That's very cool. So, we're back. We're ready. We're not ending stream. Thank you so much for your patience. I wonder already, did this count as a second load? And I tell you the way to find out. is YouTube itself. If I go, it sends me an email at the beginning of every stream. It's like, hey, by the way, you're live. And I go, hey, thanks, YouTube. So I haven't got another email. If I go to the live tab and I go to content, it does. Content, it does, and I repeat myself. It does look like 20 minutes of stream. Cool. Well, I should do a job of cutting that down, all of it, and we should just be live right now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're live. We've been live. We're not editing things. We don't edit. I'm here for me, not you. Anyway, those just joining us, I'm learning the draw. I need to get like a whole paragraph. Like, it sounds good and I can repeat because we just keep telling this story over and over, but it's a good story. I'm here for me, not you. I'm here to learn the draw. I hope I'm entertaining along the way. I hope you hang out with me. But we're not teaching you to draw. We're teaching ourselves, which has been fun and a challenge. It apparently caused me to buy a brand new tablet because reasons. All right, so we're going to start with some lines and some warm-ups. We've got ourselves a 19 by 20 by 1080 picture. We want to draw lines. We want to kind of just get our arm moving on the tablet. Fill it up. And we've got all this infinite space in the world because layers are amazing. Let's try light sensitivity. Get that moving. Let's clean it up. New. Great button. Hide the old layer, put the new layer down. We're just work on one file. Doesn't even matter. I'm using a file I made last night. I have all the paper and pages I want. All right, let's go ahead and push hard. Go the other way a bit. And that's what we're doing. Okay, so what about tapering? I want to taper the ends, and that's a little harder to do. Where we start soft and end soft. Right, if I want to do it more smoothly. Yeah, that's better. Alright, let's start working a couple straight lines. We're not going to spend a lot of time on these drills today. I do want to do the line drills pretty regularly, but I got to find a balance. We're going to do a lot of boxes, I think, today. In different angles. All the angles? I'm thinking all of the angles. Kind of. You'll see what I mean. That's a little big. We want that to be red. Okay, there's our line. Take a black size 12. Let's do 12. We're still exploring what a brush size means to us. That's a line. I bet I'm great at those. Ooh, the driver reset my shortcuts. We're not done with all the technical stuff. There's slightly more technical stuff ahead. Let's go ahead and pin that to taskbar. Let's open it up. Brush is fine, although I want that to be pin. So it's not fine. First button is pin. Second button is currently brush size, but I want it to be brush. Third button, I don't think I had a button I was commonly using here, so we're going to make it eraser. This first top button is Control Z, which makes this next button R, makes this next button space. There we go. All done. So we can Control Z. Hit the lazy brush. Now, like in 4 days, these hotkeys are all going to change. It's all going to be fun new tablet. You can see we got some wibble wobble to work out. I'm even tilting this, I'm trying to get the right angle. I'm tilting the whole tablet right now to kind of find my space. Because really, I could just do this. All right, and that's a slightly easier line for me. Right, not that I want to work just the areas I'm comfortable with. Nope. One of the things we're working on discovering. One of the things we're working on discovering for ourselves is how fast to draw these straight lines. So talk my thought process out loud for my own sake here. To go slow is to be a little wobbly. All right, to go slower than that adds more wobble. But to go too fast loses all accuracy. Now there's a point, I think, other than, nice fast lines. These are very fast, right? Good, confident strokes. There's got to be the middle ground somewhere that leans towards clean lines. I mean, say middle ground, just like how slow can I still draw and get a confident line? Because I don't have to go as fast as possible, right? This is, as fast as possible. I don't need that. This is pretty fast, still pretty confident. Where's that point where I still get a confident line and I'm not, zooming to the other side? I think it's around here. It's around there. But that's still going to take some practice. I don't have, what is my stabilization at 5? Good. It's another number I'm experimenting with. Part of getting to learn the software. Oh, very good, very good. We're getting there for the warm-up. No, we're not. We're losing track. Feels good, and then I get confident. We start doing things like that. Then that's too slow. Feeling better. The idea here is that I can theoretically spend a little bit of time doing this every day. And over time, the line confidence and the line strength generally improves. Let's put some music on because we didn't yet. There we go. Line confidence generally starts to improve. And we do this kind of intuitively. But time will tell. How loud is that for y'all? Right there. Probably perfect for you all. It's a little loud for my brain. It's me. A little notification was me. Alright, this button. The other thing I want to start doing with these line strokes, and these are still about line quality, so I'm not taking on some new task. So I want to do the thickness of my lines with more intention. All right, so I do want, when I want a thick line, I want to put down the thick line. I want to be able to think about what line a specific part of the drawing, the art piece needs. I want to do a lot of that with sensitivity. So we can make vastly different lines depending on our sensitivity, right? Like that's digital and physical. We share that a bit. So want to go quality, clarity of lines. So quality is, the confident, clean strokes. The clarity is only one line where I want it instead of this like searching nonsense. You know, I want one stroke. I want it straight. I want it to be straight. When I need it to be straight, I want it to be straight. Of course, I want it to be the shape I want it to be. And then the thickness, which value, right? Value is. I always think value. I think of like the different shades, like the tones. We're getting our words straight. We are slowly figuring out all the right words. Just, I imagine, tougher than you really give it credit for. But we're doodling. Let's start doing our boxes. Our box exercise that I wanted to do today. There's some courses that are definitely. I've watched so many perspective YouTubes and videos and classes, and I spent a lot of time here and outside the stream, kind of doing our horizon line and our 1 and 2 perspective boxes. Right, everything's kind of converging on a horizon line there. And this ain't perfect. This is just the idea. All right, we get something. There's some issues here, and we spent a little bit of time in the last several days kind of putting down where the real lines were and seeing kind of how accurate we were drawing orthogonal lines in this case. Now we've done it to varying degrees of success. What is it? 3 lines apiece here, and then we need more lines. We need more lines. This box. 4 lines apiece. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it was like I'm drawing crazy things right now. The vertical lines where these meet, but that's not vertical. So we're just, not lining up. Center point there. Right, but we got our vertical lines. That's not even where that one would be, right? See what we're seeing? Like, this line here would be the vertical. So that's where they're should be connecting or starting, but we shouldn't be starting back here. We should be starting up there. Yeah, and like this one, it's kind of there. And it's all wibbly wobbly. I don't know why we're gonna go back and correct it. We were just talking to myself about how it's done, not trying to do a perfect one, because we're not going to do perfect ones today. We're going to try to get the mental image of the right rotations of these boxes in my head. All right, we're just going to try to get them rotated correctly. The accuracy of my lines, the accuracy of the boxes, I think is something I have to work on. Not something I need to skip, but for now, my thought is to draw a square, a good square. A good square. An intentional square. Maybe not the best square. In fact, let's bring out our pencil. I feel like a good pencil feels better here. In fact, let's make it a good, like a blue pencil. Can I put the brush down? What a good thick, like, space there. Just save the color. Anyway, pencil. Penciled in. Using my wrist right now. I use the elbow again. Okay, so we've got a square. Now this is a cube if I'm looking directly on top of it. Now the idea, we can zoom in, I think, to 100 here pretty easily. The idea now is if this is my eye line and the box, I draw a box above it, what does that box look like? How does it rotate in space? one of the things I'm going to try is to give this, the way I just saw it was break it down into 4s, right? Which is break it in half, and half again, and then half on this side, and half again. Right, we should be able to grab that section. Where's the copy? We're gonna cut and paste, cut and paste, copy and paste. This tool doesn't make sense to me entirely yet, so we're gonna try to use it. What's happening? Did it make a new layer? It made a copy. I see. Of that section over here in a layer. Now, what I want to do is copy this segment. It's making a whole layer. So I have a whole layer that's probably just, it is just that bit. I don't want that. What do we have? I have to like move the pen over these sections to kind of figure this out. So it does seem like copy paste is one of the answers. Now if I want to move it, deselect, crop, expand, shrink, delete. See what I can move it that way after I've copied and pasted it. But how do I put it back on? Apply the transformation. I want to merge this layer down. I think I just did it by clicking this button here that says transfer to lower layer. This is a lot of steps that I have to be like hotkeyed or simpler. We'll work on it. Anyway, the idea as it was explained to me. Let's go ahead and get our pencil back. Let's get our blue. Was that we drew this line here. If we're looking up at the first section, you know, let's say we went 45 degrees up. We need essentially that line, same width, because we're just looking up at it a little bit. 45 degrees up. It's not a square, right? This is not it. There is a curve. I want to say it was like half distance over. And it's mirrored up here. And now we're looking at the box 45 degrees. The box has been rotated 45 degrees. But in this scenario, we're not under it, right? Because under it would give us a different... We've just rotated it. We are looking under it because we're looking at... Our eye line is still here. Like... We're still looking at it this way. Straight on. Maybe not from the side. Maybe that's a bad way to think about it. Okay. So if I want to look under that, if I raise the box instead of lowering it, or instead of rotating, if I raised it, what would happen? Let's put a new layer on. Let's go to red real quick. Give us the brush. Let's get our red down. I want to get used to doing these little palettes. The vanishing point straight on the box would be like the center, right? So this line would be kind of there. Kind of there. from its exact position wherever I've placed it. They also wouldn't be the same height. It would be bigger. Oh, see, this I probably right now, as I'm stumbling on this, need to stop because I don't want to create the wrong. I don't want to do this wrong. I don't want to submit in the wrong lessons. I think if I'm looking at it above me, this is a shorter side, and it is split in half. But this ain't a 40. Oh yeah, let's stop this lesson. Let's stop this idea. Because I don't want to cement the wrong lesson in my head. I need to rewatch some. I gotta rewatch some more perspective videos instead of pulling them from there. Maybe take notes. I wasn't taking notes during this particular one. But I do remember this like third thing. The idea being, and let's, you know, move this around. All right, just deselect. Okay, hit OK. Deselect. We're learning hotkeys. There's a hotkey for this, but it's not control paste. It will be anyway right now. Okay. So the middle ground between a 45-degree rotation and where we're at now should see the blue line. Here. That's red. It should see it kind of in the same angle, right? We should get this area here. And then I want to say same thing up top. So we see more of the side, not the top, but more of the front than the bottom. At a different angle. I think farther out, and then farther in. And we'll come in with the eraser and try to add the clarity to this. And then what? Let's grab all of this. Bring it down so I can write above it. Oh, wait. Yep, we gotta combine layers. Let's go apply the transformation. Let's get all visible layers. Merge selected layers. Now I can move it. And again, there's gonna be a hotkey for this that I'm gonna have to explore. You can see we actually squished it in a couple areas. Let's go and get our measurement back. Let's draw our line again. Once we get our pencil tool out. The idea, of course, being we see more of the bottom than we do what the front was, and is now changed just a bit. I feel like we've just, there we go, it feels a little better. Now, I'm drawing this right now with the understanding that, like, these lines here line up. Vertically, but they're also, I mean, we want something down here, right? Like that's not correct, right? Like this is the mental part of understanding these boxes, that as we rotate them, being able to show the center. Trying to see what we're missing here. Now that we're looking away from it, we're looking, now we've rotated it. We're rotating, we're not looking under it. Kind of looking under it. That's why these are converging. Shorten that up a bit. But then these also converge backwards. Do they converge? They don't converge out like that. That looks better, but these lines themselves, they're not going to come in, right? So bop, 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 bop. And I guess the problem is the cube. Well, now we're looking straight on. Go back, undo the lines. Let's give some weight to these. Now, let's give some weight. Let's redo that whole box. Let's think about it again. So, this line more or less is the right width. That was fine. It was not the right length, which is something we should account for. And this is that, like, try to do your lines good, try to make them straight, because these little discrepancies in these boxes keep adding up. One, two, three, four. We split this in 4 sections. And it felt like the box needed to be more see, there's something terribly wrong with what we're looking at. I'm going to look at a resource real quick. Let's open up Edge. Let's restore the pages I did have ready, because we're gonna do some gesture stuff later. But I need a tumbling cube diagram. Tumbling cube art diagram, something that's doing what I'm doing. I need to rotate this cube. I think maybe add the word perspective. Yeah, this is closer. I need a different layout to help my brain, but I found some stuff. I want to find a diagram that rotates them, kind of like I am, a little bit at a time, so I can follow it. 22.5 degrees per direction in all the directions. I know it exists. I've seen examples. But everybody on here is like, here's a random direction. Let's open this picture in its own tab. Let's pull up our reference. Like, this is what I'm looking at now. You can see it's just completely random. In fact, when I first saw it, I thought I was looking at something that wasn't as random. Let's hide that again and take a look. Yeah, tumbling cube, not the cube tumbling I want. Yeah, I guess this is it. This is a way. Nope. Open that in a tab. Alright. So the ideas are here. The idea, turning it right, you can see we've got, I can see, let's see, what do we have? You know, clearly a square. We rotate it slightly to the right. Here, actually, let's make this a little easier for myself. It's me. Pull this reference off. Let's actually study this reference. We have a ruler, right? If I hit Control R, you can see ruler measurements. So I guess my question and why we're doing anything, and I guess the ruler's not going to help me. I'm going to have to figure some eyeball stuff out, but this line, oh, no eyeball, we have lines. That's what I want to do. We want thinner lines, because thinner lines help us. Okay, second, let's go right outside this line. See, this is what I'm thinking. The width of the square's not changing its tallest point. And that's also what we should be seeing kind of here. We're not much. I guess it's close. That this side here, pencil. And this side here lines up with that corner and that corner and that corner, right? Okay, so we're keeping the general size and dimensions. If I split this in half, right about here, split that in half again, right about there, and then in half again, right about there. What I'm not seeing is what I was doing earlier, which was drawing this corner to the 25% mark. That means what? Are these not 45-degree tumbles? Or is it? Looks almost like it's half again. You know, half again the mark. More than it's a set rule. What about this way? So this feels right. Like if we break it down this way, we call that half. Call those in half. And then those lines look almost in half again. Enough that, you know, my grid being off kind of tells the story. So like maybe these lines here were fine, right? These horizontal lines. So how would I draw, say, this box here? Right. So we've got an example of that box there. Is the same as this one, but rotated. So we do start with the, if we start with the width, let's go over everything. Let's group all the old layers. Add some opacity. And really study this. Let's give myself a pen. So we've got this line. we do go in, but we haven't been going in like a whole half. So if half of this, half again is there. I mean, this feels relatively correct. Now the backside is bigger than we were given it credit for. But the angle is about the same. So wherever we line up, wherever we decide this stops at, it is just a little longer. Of a box. Now let's get the opacity back into play. Let's draw with a red. Because what we're missing is, I guess, this line here, right there. You see it right there. Where's that lining up? So we talk about the highest points in the piece, in this cube. We have one, these two line up, and this seems a little farther back. Same over here. These two line up, and this is a little smaller. Which we kind of get here. One, you know, but we line those up, draw on top, on the top layer. We line those up. Actually, we've been cheated. We push a little farther to the edge, and about that distance in. And then the lines, you know, they make their way a little softer. We're kind of there. Let's get rid of some of these sketch lines. Let's see if we feel better about that cube. Feels a little tall. Feels like we didn't quite get a perfect cube, but I'm understanding it a bit better. I think this cube here. How am I not drawing? Okay, this cube here feels mostly fine if we ignore my bad line work. Right. It's all the same principles. We just split it in half, 45-degree look. We're going red for the back. What are we noticing is that the lines are coming in to the center line. And this is the back of it. If we were talking about these faces, the side faces, right, we could give those a light coloring, kind of help them pop, wrap our head around the dimensions of this object just a bit better. Okay, let's go ahead and give our line back to us. Solid visible thick blue for the stuff we can see. There we go. That's fine. We did kind of the same thing over here. I think we were in the right ballpark, but everything's kind of off, right? Perspective, proportions. This is the grind, y'all. This is the grind. Oh boy, this is the grind. All right. Same thing if we rotate them to the side, right? But we can see some examples of rotating all of these to the side. Did I draw on another layer there? Or... Oh, that's all one layer. Good. Okay, so right here, we're looking at the box tumbled downward, tumbled towards us, rotated towards us, and then rotated to the right. I should. I mean, this is something I should just use this, right? Like I've got a cube, and I could hold up to myself and just be like, aha. Oh man, the answers are there. It's in the cube. And I can see it happening now. Okay, I'm gonna have to spend a little bit of time with this cube. Because 45 and 45 is easy. So if we 45 down to me, and I know you guys can kind of see it, and then 45 over, I'm looking at the camera, yeah. That's easy too, because that's this thing. This is like the two-line, two-perspective cube we always do. It's like the first one I try to draw every time I sit down. Like it's just line, 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 right? I say right, and then we're just gonna draw it way out of whack. There's some converging lines here, and they do what they do, where we thicken our lines until, you know, somewhere in there. Oh, don't do this. Somewhere in there is the cube, right? Okay, digital art's fine, because we can just take down the bad lines. Shave it down is what we're gonna call it. Shaving our cube. Theoretically. But the other tumbles, you know, here and here, how do we make that thought? How do we rotate that in our head? So I kind of don't want to just look at them and draw them, but that's a step, right? The first thing we probably think about, we get that vertical line, and if they're rotated in this direction, which means we start straight on, like over here, is the new side. Wait a minute, which way is this rotating? This is rotating like that way. Like we're taking the cube and we're rotating it over. Well, I guess I'm mirrored, so I'm not helping to hold that up, but which, if I'm looking straight at it and I rotate it, this angle goes from being flat. No, it's not 45. It's not out here, right? Because we just did the 45s, and it's not flat, so it would be like in the middle of that, and then on the inside of that. All right, so we get this line and this line. This looks about twice the distance, twice the size. No. Thing to remember is that this width is equal to this width. So theoretically, this is 3/4, this 1/4. So this right side is 3 times bigger. Actually, I really like how I wrote 1/4, 3/4. We're gonna keep it. Okay, back to blue. Let's go pop a little bigger. Straight up. Now this is going to be about the same angle. They do converge a bit. For the sake of me right now, I'm not stressing that much about it. I think we have wrapped our head around it, if not like gone too far in that direction. We get to cut it off like so. Awesome. Kind of. Like this also could be longer, but I feel wrinkles in my brain starting to unravel. keep thickening lines. It's clearly going to be better. If I thicken, I thin. We find, I think we find the actual lines, but that is all kinds of tilted and distorted, and you can tell we're also off screen here. Boom. Other fun things we've got coming along today. Now I'm going to go look, now that I'm thinking about it. I've got my new keyboard. Should be in today. Sitting on the porch at some point in the next couple hours. Keyboard and mouse pad, and I've got this keyboard over here that's hard to move around because it's wired and the cable isn't long enough. Oh boy. And your keyboard for me is a big deal. I've had this Cooler Master for like 8 years now, 6 years, number of years. I had its little brother before that, and it broke. And this was the second one. I had bought the missus, and she had stopped using it. So I picked up, the used keyboard. This is my first new keyboard in some time. Gosh, that's something. Let's just trace a line real quick. Let's just trace a line. I'm like, there's gotta be. Wait a minute, what am I doing here? Why isn't this? Sometimes I just have to hit the pencil tool again. The other thought is, what if I was deselecting? See, this is, we're tracing right now. Hoping work in some of these angles in the memory. You can even see the line quality. Still something to be improved upon, even in a trace. Gosh. I feel like we could draw cubes for days and not quite get a cube that's clean. Well, maybe that's the sketch and the taking your time portion, right? Let's try that. Let's try moving over here. And let's pick an easy box. Let's pick a 45 degree rotation. I've got my cube over here now. Let's use a little Rubik's Cube for lining everything up. Let's zoom in a bit. Let's do some light sketching. So something like this. 45 degrees. 45 degrees. Make it bigger. I think the idea here is we try to get good straight lines. A good cube, right? Now, the way to do this well would be what? That the whole height of the cube and the width of the cube are about the same. And we could even just get the contours real quick and then try to find where it makes sense. We're just doing our sketching layer, trying to find the right lines, and that feels pretty good, except a little tall. So we're searching. I want to search like I'm doing a Luffy sketch, which we've done a bunch of. We've done like 8, 3, 5, some number like that. We do our sketches until we start to see the real cube. We can erase large swaths of this. Talk about somebody getting their cube right the first time, but let's think about all the tools we have for sketching it out on our own. Right, that even bends in a bit. Let's just give that a try again. Get rid of this little bad boy and this little line. Oh, what we don't have is this. This isn't a perfect straight line here. So let's bring it out just a bit. I can see it. Now we need to clean it up. Taking a little bit from the inside, a little bit from the outside. I made a curved line there. Now it feels a little... All right, well, let's measure. Let's measure. So, what do I have? What can I do to measure? Is there a ruler tool? I don't have... I have a frame border tool. Ruler. There is a ruler. So, from widest point to widest point is what? Like, these are the two places we're measuring. Where are the measurements? You are a ruler tool. You are a linear ruler. Do I have some number that's changing on the screen somewhere? Create an editing layer. Is it creating a... It is. Also, it's telling me we're not quite lined up in the center, which is curious. Do we use this tool? We eyeball more. The width should be about the same. Since I'm using a ruler, there should be a measurement somewhere. Well, let's see. Right about the 5:30 mark. Is this a way we want to do it? I mean, no. We have a ruler for a reason. Is there? I feel like there has to be a number somewhere. Okay, I guess we're gonna just measure it with the pencil. About there. It's about there. So this point right there. If we line that up. Which tells me immediately we've got a bad line here. Like right here. You could see almost immediately. There's merge these layers, so I'm working on the right things. Or select layers. I don't want to make this a ruler layer, but there's rulers layers. What's happening? All right. Anyway, what's happening? We don't know. We'll figure it out. There's some kind of ruler on the marker, one ruler icon and a check mark. It called it an editing layer over on the left-hand side. Now, this is a lot of unsure, non-confident lines. But clean up the bottom, we're fine. Clean up the bottom over here. Does it also seem fine? Seems a little long. It does. Let's hit the tool again and just shorten it a bit. And take that line over. And again, shave it down. It's like a rough spot on the screen here or on my pencil. New tools incoming. I'm fucking excited. Okay. Looking better. Maybe this line over here, you know, doesn't come out as much, but the whole point was to try to make one clean looking cube. And we've got pretty good cube. Let's get our line tool and see if we can't pop a good line out of this. Pop a good cube with good lines. Let's use all the things at our disposal. I'm gonna go with the G pen here. Is this the secret to digital art? The redo button, the undo button? Just keep drawing, fast, confident lines until you get the accurate one. First and foremost, I think this line needs to be moved down a bit. So we're just gonna we're gonna start the line disconnected. And we've done that a few times on this piece. And you can see we got some problems that generally need addressing. I think the worst offender is this side here. Now all this begs me one question, and I got to discover that for myself. Maybe. I mean, I'm sure there's answers. I'll probably have that discovered for myself. Is it better to put this much work into a single cube, or just draw a bunch of cubes? So just be drawing more. Draw more is the answer. Or by drawing more cubes poorly, do I just make the problem worse? So there's definitely some problems here. Let's zoom in a bit. I want this line, I guess, taper it. That feels good over in that area. That doesn't feel great. Let's move it over. Yeah, see, wobbly. That feels better. Don't undo that. Redo that. Don't undo that. Redo that. I get my buttons all mixed up here. So part of the problem is this line, this blue line, isn't the line we found over here. And you can see it all kind of comes in. So I've got to find... I got to find the better line. First and foremost, I think we start here. We make sure we cut it in. I wonder what the vertical is. And there are tools that I'm ignoring, kind of intentionally, to find it. Right, like that tool. We can see we start kind of fine, and we are flaring out with it, kind of flaring out with that line, which isn't an intentional choice. Alright, theoretically, we have a box. Oh, we drew a box. Now do it 100, 250 more times. There's a number of times we're gonna have to do it. But we're gonna take ourselves a break. Just to refresh the coffee break. Nothing terribly huge. It's cold and almost empty, and that's got to get fixed. Oh boy. All right. Stare at the cube. We'll be back. Bow, bow, bum, 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 bum. Okie dokie. We're back with fresh pot, fresh cup. We make it by the cup here. Not that I recommend by the cup. Oh, the art days. are only gonna get longer. So, we made a cube. We got some line work to work on. Not only like drawing a good, confident line, but drawing it at the shape, size, distance, angle that we mean it to for a cube. And we're kind of free-handing it all. So, let's take that cube and rotate it. Take that tip that's facing us right here and bring it down. That should give us quick sketch, quick pencil sketch. All right, we get a line, much more. We're still working in the 45s. All right, we should see a lot more at the top, which just means in comparison, bottom, we see less of, right? But that's just a short cube from the same angle. We've not rotated it. All right, what does rotating it look like? Sharper angles, maybe? Closer to a square, maybe? Because we're not looking at it straight on. We're not looking at it 45. We need to find hell, that's not even 45. The 45 would be what we just drew, which I'm sure y'all can see the lines over the lines. We know the vertical line's fine. We know that between a 45 and a flat, all right, we're flat with 45, then we change angles. Now let's remember something here. I'm trying not to look at the stuff on the left. Let's go back and take a better look at everything. Cool. All right, pencil. Let's go ahead and put that eraser back to a smaller size before we start drawing. So it's not that we had a square, because we don't. All right, we have, if we were looking at this straight on, we would in fact have a diamond. And these would be in fact 45s, right? Are these? But they are 45s. No, they're not. They are. What is that angle, sir? We have these rulers I still don't know how to use. We're gonna try. Perspective rulers? That's fun. Ah. Ooh. I don't even know what I'm looking at. God, we're gonna have to learn how to use these tools. That's awesome. So anyway. Just working it out in my brain. That's all we're doing. Because this 45, nope. This 45 is that. All right. And we've gotten more shallow as we've rotated the cube up or down towards us. Which means this next one should be right about there. So we're not quite flat. We are equal, we are the same angle on both sides. But this should still be a 45, right? Because that's a 45 that's not a 45. Okay, it becomes more obtuse. As it comes towards us, it becomes less obtuse. It becomes more 45. 45 is straight on. As it goes from away from us, it gets flatter. This line specifically. So the line we should be looking for might be Not, you know, not this 45 here, but like, can we get sharper? That's not going to be a cube. We might. Okay, all right. Let's look over here. Do we have an example? No, we drew this one here. And the idea of what we're doing, bringing this tip down, it's somewhere between, you know, that angle and just a bunch of 45s. A sideways square. Diamond. A diamond. A diamond's the word. A perfect diamond. So like that. With a shorter I think my first mistake might be I drew a perfect 45-degree shape because I didn't. These are all not the same shape rotated. So pulling this towards me might just be this diamond. If I can line these up, that might help. Now we're making it massive by doing that, right? This does seem, it is not a foreshortened, but is there another word for backwards shortened? Because it's going away from me. This section here is going away from me. Because of that, try to find the shape. We're doing some searching here. I hold up the actual cube. No, thick lines don't make everything better. I have been enjoying this this method of trying to find it. I think what we're actually seeing, and I'm not seeing, was that big point I made at the end was this first shape we drew is not looking straight on. And so the shape we're drawing now, if we rotate it the way we said we were going to, we would be rotating it kind of straight on. Now it's a little tall. I can already see it. It's a little tall. Does that true? That's short. Yeah, okay. So the thing to keep in mind then, I'm trying to keep in mind, is that that width here and this height here should be the same, and that's a little tall. So let's shorten it a bit and see what we feel like. As we continue to try to find the shape. Clean it up, make our lines clear and distinct, because it looks, you know, it looks like you've done something when the line is hidden amongst the lines. But if I have to choose a line, it's less less clear what I've done. That's why these corners never quite worked out for us. Okay. Other than the lines being shoddy, there's some other problems here. We have shortened up this and this and this and this. Let's do some actual measurement with the tool in my hand. Yeah, still way too tall. Change the height without changing the width. We get this like different angle at the top. We don't actually have a straight line here, and I'd like to get one. Let's do some erasing. We're like squishing this in different directions constantly. And see, now we've got a weird angle there. Just setting the whole thing off. Go ahead and get our lines cleaned up at the bottom. Just kind of erase what we have, and then bop, bop. You can see we've got a slightly longer side here, and we keep shortening it. What if we instead made it longer on the left side, trying to keep our width? The angle would look good if I just kept putting lines here, but that's not the way. Let's try to clear it up. All right. Looks better. Generally has the right idea. If we were to do it yet again, and let's just, you know, take that down in tone, and we can think about where the cube, how it rotates, what moves. And I think, and I'm working off some thoughts here, that this and this point can stay the same. We get a shorter vertical line. We get let's just say not exactly in the middle. Right, cool. If we go, that is exactly in the middle. So exactly in the middle of these two lines at the same width. And we have some sloppy lines there, but we can clean that up. The journal idea is there. And then as these tips move down, so did these, probably by equivalent amounts. It doesn't look like a cube. But if we do our searching lines, do we start to find it? Maybe, you know, using the actual sides as a guideline here. And it's only the diagonals that are really changing position. Let's zoom in a bit and get the eraser out. We're not even ready for the eraser, because I was keeping the points exactly the same, the bottom points. So I need that line there at the bottom, and this line at the bottom here, which means these are completely free to, again, be cleaned up. Changes a whole bunch of the calculus. We did want this to be bigger by about that amount, which means we probably need whole new lines here. All right, let's take out, I say we take out the excess, but the excess here is the inside, and this isn't a good vertical. And cleaning up some lines. I say cleaning up. We're cleaning up some sketch lines. We want to do this in one good line afterwards. I think this whole line here can be redone too. And what I think I've done, and I haven't very well, is move kind of like, you know, this point down by similar amounts on each section, maintaining this general height, top and bottom, for what is just the slightest change in angle. But if I wanted to do that better, would I, let's put a purple on this one. Again, come down steeper, go out to the side. Like that doesn't feel right either. The angle of this is wrong, which means this is more I want this to be all the way out to the edge anyway. Of course, we got all these thick scratching lines. We're coloring it until we find what we want. Not necessarily gonna get me where I want. Gosh, is that even farther out here? Let's get rid of some lines. Cubes, am I right? All right. Blah, 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 blah. Told y'all ain't here for good art. Just here for art. Oh, what are we doing? We've got a couple of browsers open. Let's close tabs to the right. I'm gonna keep hitting this like refresh button on my package because that'll be fun. All right, so let's come out. We've got a whole bunch of layers that we've hidden the opacity for. Is there something that looks like this purple one up here that we kind of use as a reference? Not really. Not really. I think we could always go back to that old idea of, not old idea, the idea we had earlier of, you know, we take the cube and you break it into fourths. Oh, 1, 2, 3, kind of like this. Let's clean that up. Let's not do kind of. Let's kind of the looseness of our measurements is what's making a lot of these boxes look the way they do. Give ourselves space over here. Can we? Without? No, we can't. Alright, so kind of a line here, kind of a line there. If we break that in half, break in half and half again, you can see that we're not even. So like if we look at a 45, like that would be the 45. No, we're not gonna delete the layer, but nice thought. All right. So we're gonna break this in fourths. So it was gonna be like 3/4, 1/4, and the top shape exists. All right, we've got this point, this point. We're gonna make mostly a diamond out of that. Because well, the halfway point between these two is here-ish. Right. This line here, equal lengths kind of there. A little bit of convergence. And why does that not feel like a cube? Probably, I mean, of course, because this area here is where we guessed. The width of this should be about the same. Right, so if we do another measurement with my pencil, we can see I need to cut off about that much on both sides, so like there and there. Okay, let's get a new layer. Let's lower the opacity of that one just a bit. Let's pick a fun new color. And let's do real lines. Let's see how all the measurements hold up. Actually, here, yeah, let's do. If we're gonna do a vertical line, let's hold a vertical line. Now these are things we're eyeballing right here. Does that feel? It doesn't. Does it feel like the line? Like a box. It's all wonky. Is it that line? Side's not necessarily long enough. It feels like they're coming, you know, out on these sides. This section here doesn't feel the right height. Just scratch the tablet. You'll find your place eventually. If we keep those in mind, where do we get to? Something a little better. Hey there, Cam. Draw me a box. Draw a box, man. That's what we're up to. Oh, you know, I really could have studied the whole draw a box curriculum. I'm like 4 pages probably away from methods for this exact thing. Oh, boxes. Bum, 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 bum. And if I hold my cube up in that exact angle for myself, maybe not exactly for you, I see a lot more foreshortening happening here. How you doing, buddy? Oh, that's an eraser. How's life? How's the day? A lot more foreshortening there. And it feels like sharper angles than that. But then this box feels almost perfect diamond. I don't know if I could say perfect diamond and then draw perfect diamond. course, adding lines is not the answer, but it's what we're doing. Yeah, hold on a second. Still sick. I got COVID, but it's fairly mild. Oh, dude, that's right. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. And here's an interesting question. Fairly mild. Did you have like? I'm assuming you got your COVID shot years ago. Never got a booster. And do you get your flu shot regularly? Because I got hit real hard, and I was like, man, this is the only year I hadn't got my flu shot, and I blamed it on that. I don't know if, maybe similar experience. I'm doing great. I'm frustrated with myself for all the right reasons, wrong reasons. I'm frustrated with myself just because drawing a box is hard, and it feels terrible to suck at a thing, but I know better. I got a couple of boosters, no flu shot. Gotcha. Oh, I did the flu shot this year because COVID whooped my ass in July, really hard, and I wasn't gonna play around, so I got my flu shot. I've not gotten a COVID booster because I just got COVID. Fuck it, that's the booster. But I might be looking at boosters again because I don't want to relive those like that fucking. It was a week, and I was in Alaska. I was visiting friends. It's a terrible time to be laid up in bed. Alright, we're gonna group a whole bunch of layers and hide them, clean up our mess. Whew. So we have a bunch of different courses I'm taking. And I'm kind of bouncing around between them right now. And this has just inspired me to maybe do a little bit more Drawbox. A little bit more. I'm on, and we can even talk about this with art. Watch this, like a whiteboard, guys. I've got a handful of classes. So for the most part, we started with random YouTube. That led me to settle. I wanted to settle on an organized class, and that led me to Proko and like 2 of his paid courses, which I bought one like a year and some change ago, and one like a couple months ago. And the Proko courses went a little fast for me. I wanted to hone in on stuff. I guess simultaneously, so like 1.5. I was also doing Drawbox, which is well known for, grindy, repetitive stuff, and that's probably a great spot to sit. But I didn't want to set on it too hard, so this is like a back resource, and Proko became a resource where I could find, I could go back to my classes and learn stuff. So what did I find? Then I recently found New Masters Academy, which is a subscription, which we're currently on the trial, which is like 2.5 Netflix subscriptions. I think I'm like $21 for a first month, and like 30 something for the next couple months, and then like 40 something dollars after that. But it is extensive. There's a lot here. When I was worried about Proko not going into a lot of detail, and I was moving through the classes probably quicker than I should have, this one slowed down a lot, and I like it. But then yesterday, I found one that was just digital art. I don't know why I went to this tirade. I found one that was just digital art. And it was a one-time purchase, but it was not. I shouldn't have. So now I've got this. This is kind of like, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different structured courses, and I guess what I'm doing, taking a little bit from each 4, from the 4 of them. We kind of go class 1, 2, 3, 4, section 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. I'm kind of exploring them like this. Just kind of trying to stay in a general area. But fortunately, they're all the same fundamentals, and they're just explaining them to me in different ways, and that's kind of helpful. But man, no more courses. I've got to complete the ones I have. Also decide whether or not to keep the subscription going, because it's an awesome program. It's just each of these courses is like, take this over the course of 2 years. One of them's boxes, so I should be going back to draw a box. I need boxes. So quick boxes. Draw a box. Draw a box. Draw another box. Nope, that's the wrong way. Boxes. Box. This box. This box. They're not in proportion to each other. We're trying to make them in proportion to themselves, though. And that won't it. I don't know why that would be square, though. Is that 45? I don't even know what we're doing here. We put a box down. Draw another box. Let's go this way. Let's go up here. So this is the kind of... I'd also like to be able to do is quickly sketch out the angles, make them mildly correct. You know, for example, over here too, is this just the same box shape, isn't it? That's definitely not a... That's not a box or a cube. Bad angles. I think you gotta start with this. I gotta start with that. It helps me too much. More rectangular. Maybe this angle, that angle. I mean, here's the tough part. Is like if you want to rotate. So I rotated the box up, and I rotated it over to the right. And if I rotate it just a little bit more, but not a whole lot more, where would we end up? Kind of foreshortened this side, elongated this side, but also like this, in fact. Not like that at all. It is foreshortened. The angles are, let's say this box and this box, they share a height, right? We can do that line there. And we're rotating this box just more that way. So what we end up with is, instead of this being halfway between, it becomes shorter there, longer there. Also, different angle. So this line here was here. Go even more. This one should be stubbier. Kind of. We gotta shorten it over here a bunch. Box. Draw box. All right. I mean, bad boxes, I should leave it up. We're still drawing boxes. Bow, bow. I think we should get the gesture real soon, but I want to clean up some of these thoughts. So, like, you know, that line's... Now, this box, if we make it a cube more, we really need to cube it, not, you know, big old long rectangle. Like, theoretically, this is a 45-degree thing, right? But we scratched it down quickly. You know, the angles are all messy. Of course, scratching more lines doesn't help us make it more clear. We are getting into the habit of scratching lines out, aren't we? And then, like, trying to come back in and erase them. That's the real line I meant to draw. We saw it when we searched for it. Searching, scratching, kind of shaving off here. See, let's take all the curve out of the line. Best we can. Shave it down and make intentional our stuff. Alright, I mean, it has a certain inky feel to it when you erase it like that. That's kind of nice. It's like, how do I describe it? Well, inky feel. Looks like a pen. It's not. It's a G pen with an eraser. That's the brush. Alright, so we had some plans today after boxes. I'm okay with kind of what we've pieced together here and drawn out. So we're going to call that part of the study today. The other half of our study is going to be gesture. And we're going to try to line up some quick, I won't call them quick poses. I don't think I'm ready for quick poses yet. We got a page coming up. Make sure we're not dropping any nudity here. Full body, both sexes, with clothes on, any poses, view all. Let's start. Oh, that's really fucking cool already. All right, let's pull a reference out. Sword lady. All right, so the idea here is simplified. I want to do simplified poses to a quality in which we can recognize the pose. We can show maybe gesture, line of action, general. Oh, there's a timer on these, sir. We don't really want a timer. Right, we're gonna pause. If I go back and forth, I will have to pause each time. That's fine. I like that sword though. That's a long one. Oh, or she's very tiny, which is also possible. It seems like, I don't know. I'd have to go. I have one, a functional one, very sharp one. Maybe not. I haven't sharpened it in like 20 years. Have I had it for 20 years? Close to 17 years. Anyway, point being, let's sketch. Let's make it feel like we're sketching with a pencil. Let's make it a nice blue. Okay. So we start, I like to start with the head and just give it a shape. Let's darken that up a bit. Looking at the torso, right, we kind of have this, the head is kind of flat on, cross section there, right? The shoulders a little slanted. I'm going to try to exaggerate shapes. If we do a bean here for the torso, it stretches, and then we have this, the pelvis tilted a bit. So top of the torso follows this angle. Bottom of the torso tilted the other way. Kind to here. All right, we draw a little bit of the spine and the bottom half of the torso on that line. We've got this shape there. If we have a center line for the chest, it is what? This is curved. This is more curved, but this is straight. We've got the hips are going to be slightly wider than her rib cage. And then the leg's going to come across the center line at about this angle. Oh. We get the knee. And then it's almost straight up and down to a point. Probably not quite long enough there. There we go. 1, 2. Now, theoretically, the halfway point on a person, if we're talking proportions, and I'm repeating some lessons I've recently learned, is about the groin area. Let's finish with the other knee and the line here that crosses behind. Let's see if we're getting the whole pose there. I don't know if I'm getting gesture. But if we talk height, I want to draw the middle point. That's about right. That's about right. Let's get the shoulder in here, and the hand ends up about there. It is a foreshortened arm. Yeah, this is about the top of the torso, foreshortened. So like even shorter. Let's get that angle right. I can check that angle, like right here. And then right there. Let's try to do the center of it. So this line is here, but then that line at the top of the torso, at the top of the hip, is right about there. It doesn't feel right, because I think what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling is a little different, and it's because the wrist is not centered on the hand. So if this hand is right here, the wrist is actually down. The shoulder and the wrist right there. Okay. If the shoulder is there, and I couldn't tell you if it is, it is. So this shoulder is actually inside the hip, or inside the length of the hip, inside the hand. So we got to draw what's there, not what we think we see. So we probably, and this is probably an indication of the angle. Because the angle we drew is about right, but the placement of where the shoulder started wasn't. We have a little bit of foreshortening there. That already feels better. Back to the pencil. We are going away from the body at about that angle. And then coming up right about there. It is, I don't know if it's foreshortened, it feels shorter. Do a little measurement with my eyes. Yeah, it feels a little shorter. It looks a little shorter. We actually have the bit of the sword there is above the elbow, and this angle, generally the angle is there, but it's above the shoulders. So what I did wrong, it's probably this bit here. And that blade continues some distance out. This is, again, big blade. And probably cut off right about there. Alright. Generally fine. Let's see if I can't draw over it. Just a bit. Find, try to give my best attempt at gestural lines. Like, where's the action here, right? So there's that big line there. Let's give that another color. Like, I feel like there's a line there and a line there. Definitely got this. Feel like we nailed the kind of this angle here, because I kind of knew what I was looking for suddenly. A little bit more I learned about the shape of the hips. And what do we draw? We draw the top of the hips, you think? So like that. We've got this like line there. So I kind of want to make this an artistic gestural, so we can like get the feel for the motion. I mean, I don't hate it. I think I wouldn't mind getting some artistic liberties with the right there. Maybe this leg has got more work to do. Maybe a little thick over here. It actually probably cuts in. But yeah, cool. We did a thing. Let's go next. Let's group those together. Go next. All right. Next. Pause. More swords. All right. This one's maybe a lot tougher. A lot tougher. Not a standing, is laying. There's some legs in some positions, but if I can get a general shape here, I'll feel good. If I can look at the picture and know what we're doing like we did last time, I'll feel really good about it. So let's start with that blue. Start with that pencil. Generally laying down. Shoulders, we've got like, are they curved that way? Laying on it, like an arm definitely comes down and is here above. I mean, shoulders there. We're kind of doing this like arm in position. Now we have a torso. Let's see if we can get the shape of the torso. All right, we've got the head and the neck. Let's give that just a spine. How is the torso as it faces the camera? Like a little bit of an egg shape. We'll just put a good circle there. The middle line is kind of here. Puts the, get a little bit of a rib cage. feel like I need to hit this line here a little better. It comes out that way for the hand. And we've got this foreshortened blade. I'm gonna keep using that word. Maybe wrong. Right. The head itself. Let's get that captured a little better because it is at a tilt and an angle. Just gonna keep darkening over lines until we find the right one. But can I give myself the chin, center line? If you press down harder, you make a better picture. Is that what's happening with that's not what's happening with the chest, though. I think we can erase most of this chest. Try to save some pieces, because we're scratching over it, but I want to get it out of the way a bit, because I think it's more, maybe not that size, but like in line with this arm, right? The neck is kind of here. It's above the head, right? It kind of stretches out that way, which means that we get a little bit of a curve in there, maybe. All right, so second, let's get the, okay, so the shoulder is back here. It's up here, which means we're kind of still there. Can't see the cloud. I can't see some of the points. Shoulders are maybe a little forward of the torso, right? Less back here. Can't make that more obvious. And there's a twist. Is there a twist? I mean, there's a legs being twisted. It almost like I could, like in bigger pelvis, which means lying flat. This is like caved in, but I mean it's facing the camera, right? So we gotta have we don't have to get these rib cages right. I'm trying to bigger hips, just because that's how this works. It's more flat though, right? It's actually falling behind the camera. No, it's not falling behind. It's just like in line with the camera, right? So we would theoretically, drawing what I know and not what I see might be a problem here. Hips come out, which gives us one leg to here. Just gonna draw these, and it comes backwards, a little shorter. And the other from underneath. Talk about foreshortened. If we do, I'm like twisting my elbow to try to match this angle. It kind of goes under and around. The knee is up here. Let's get the angle of that leg better. And then the distance, the size of that toe to knee. It's about this distance here, actually, so a bit more. The size of the foot bigger, right? We can make that bigger. Because this whole thing is just like, I mean, get the whole foot in there, get some shapes. You know, the whole leg is coming at us. You can see most of the material here. Most of what we're seeing is also this leg. All right, coming back. Definitely not definitely not seeing like the pelvis. Which I think maybe we can bring up a bit in our, and when we try to put the gesture down. But I'm looking at it now, there's proportion problems. There always is going to be, right? But that doesn't always have to be, but I'm trying to get them out of here. I think this area comes out more. Right, give a little bit of the foot. Definitely shape. There's definitely shape there, and it ain't flat. That toe is even coming at us. I have no idea how to really show that. Let's take a moment. And see if I can't add a layer and capture this same way I did the last one, with bigger, confident pen lines. So I think we nailed it with the head, right? Nope, not that one. That one. I think we got this shape. That feels good. This line from shoulder. I guess gesture. What's the gesture? Where's the hips? Where's the shoulders? There is a pinch side. And a stretched side, a flexed side. We've got this flow here. If I wanted to capture that better, I feel like we actually give it a line this way. Which makes me want to take this line in and over. That's not quite right. It is kind of in. In fact, that's not even the right line there. I'm drawing what I'm feeling, not what I'm seeing. And this line comes at us a little bit more. This comes in front of the body. How are we feeling? What do we feel? Do we feel like we're painting a picture here? Let's get some erasing done. I like big erasers until I don't. Yeah, showing this bit here, it's tough. What if we, like, does a line like that show direction? I feel like we show the width of the ankle coming in here. All right, new one. Let's not get wrapped up in stuff. All right, layer number 21. I think I just created a whole bunch of like hidden layers too. Yep, right on down there. Oh, we'll do one more and then take a lunch. We'll come back and do some more. I really like their like accessories on this page more than some of the others I've used, but I like this right-on shot. This is gonna be a little easier for me. All right, so start with the head, right? We've got a slight right facing, the eyes wrapping around. Oh, right, timer. Told you, the accessories. Let's say that for now. Or we've got this. I mean, there's a face, egg-shaped head. This shoulder. Here we got a torso that's kind of slanted down. It's twisted back. Almost, I mean, it's facing the camera just about, right? Like, little bit of a slightly bigger hips. If I think we're drawing pretty well to scale, right? Like the shoulder width twice the width of the head, the circle of the head, right? It's about right. Slightly larger on the hips. Now these hips are that way, so we need to capture that. Maybe not as much of a gap here. Let's clean up this line. So what we haven't done is show this twist in the torso, because I think it's almost just the shoulders. I guess the torso does kind of stretch that direction when we do that too. So we're getting like a better line here would be... Nope, I want the pencil. Kind of get this egg shape. We're exaggerating, and that's kind of why this works the way it does. So I'm going to capture this line, this idea, more than the figure. Like that. We kind of have a leg that goes straight down. It is almost exactly under the shoulders. Now we made the head a little big, which means, you know, what it means. The knee about the same, but it's gonna come out here because the hips are tilted, but the leg is also drawn out, so they're about the same place. But does mean What, we get this like high-heeled approach. Yeah, we're capturing the high heels so well. If we just keep scribbling over it, Casey, you'll get it. Come on now. Come on now. And we're not drawing detail, but I am trying to capture the gesture. So if the body's tilted this way, we have the crunch kind of here and the extension there. We are on the hip. Let's check our proportions real quick. So if this is the top of the page, it's the bottom of the page. We have a ruler. It is about, what's that? 960s there, 70, 80. So 480. 480 is there. This should be the groin. So what we're missing, what's wrong, because it's got to come up a bit. Which, you know, may still work in our favor. May still be fine. Let's bring the groin. Let's bring it up. Shape of the head might be. I mean, in the head, I think is just too big. That's not 1/8 of the size, is it? 1,000 divided by 8. I mean, a little more than 100. That's more than 200, right? 200, 1,600. This is way too big. More like that. Take off some of the sides. Groin's about there, which means what? Like this whole thing moves up. And then this whole thing moves up. And then we get slightly different knee placements. Nope. Because halfway, it should be halfway between the groin, which is about 480, and the knees. So knees are more like that. We can even get rid of the old knees. We're eyeballing knee positions here, guys. Because those legs come up to there. We kind of have an S curve here. We've got the pistol. In one hand, and the hip in the other hand. And I think we feel good about that. Now we have the knees, right? And you got the, if we're looking at the actual picture and the skirt, right? Not that clothing is something I'm focusing on, but I swear what I'm seeing now, if you look at the top, is the curve of the spine. The curve of this whole figure is wrong. Like, it's not wrong, but it's like, that's torso. Neck's facing this way. And then this is the same. So we get like this line and then that line. Here, let's take this. We're gonna do a new page. Let's get that color going. So we've got kind of this. We feel the shoulders and the hips. Now, the shoulders feel right. The hips, if we're exaggerating, maybe. And I like what we've done with the hands. All right. Now, I mean, there's just such a twist with the hips. But now we're... Okay. All right. I like that, like, curve I've seen done kind of there, but what's the story of this line? And then this line. Because it comes out. Okay. We're kind of there. We kind of have the motion. I can see that. I can feel the pirate there. Now, of course, this line is wild. You know, what's happening with the gestural line is probably more... I guess we put a shoulder in to do that, but... Yeah. I don't know why everything's got to have elbows and circles, but... Well, I mean, yeah, okay. Let's study the next one. Let's not get... Oh, right, lunch. We're gonna do lunch. Bam, lunch. All right. Oh, stretch out. Whew. Stretch. Combo. Now, of course, good people who tell me courses who all say do gesture say do it quicker. 2 minutes, tops, 30 seconds, work your way up. Go quicker. We're gonna try that. I think we're going slower because I'm trying to figure it out. But let's try to put a 30-second timer on a couple of them. Make them small, less detailed when we get back. And then we'll see. Guys. We're going to have a quick break, no more than 10 minutes. I'm going to step away, get some food, eat some of that food, refresh the Amazon order page to see if I've got a keyboard downstairs. Not yet. and we'll be right back. All right, friends, artists, viewers, people. Oh, no, 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 no. I guess friends is a dangerous word in today's parasocial problem landscape. I don't know what else to say. Hey, you on the other side of the monitor, how you doing? We're doing more gesture. We're going to put on the timer. We're gonna go back. I'm gonna set it all up now. Let's see. All sexes, all clothing, no nudes, all poses. Let's do front poses. Let's do class mode. And let's see, 30-minute class. So I think class mode means it's gonna get longer, but it will be auto. Hit that start button. I'm not entirely sure of all these photos. I haven't I haven't switched screens, and that's fair. Now that I'm kind of scanning through these, there are some. Gosh, you just can't trust what's about to pop up. All right, let's try the other one. Pose. All genders, clothes, and costumes. I'm gonna draw, let's say, 60 seconds. Start. God, some of these are wild. Skip that one. Yeah, I guess these are fine. I hit skip on a couple I probably could have drawn, but timed. What we're doing? Don't quite know. That's not a hand. In fact, it comes down to like there. We get kind of the hip round. And we've got a stool that they're on, but this is here. That's kind of curved, but it's generally that way to like this way. Gives us like this knee. How long is that? Is this 60 seconds? I'm looking for the timer. It's like minutes. Let's go back. I guess stop session. Close. That's what I want to see. Pose all. Like I put 60. Try again. That just felt long. All right. Oh, that's me, not you. That's me, not you. And I'm not getting any drawing done because I'm trying to mess with my tablet. I'll mute that. Sure. Okay. Back to it. With what time we have left. Out there. Out there. Cool. Alright, I think we can even... We're looking a bit up. Right, so we can see, like, the chin that's straight on. The shoulders are flat. About twice the width. Ourselves a torso. It's twisting back. Like, the torso's straight on, but the hips are twisted. A little bigger. Let's go with this line. This gives us a extension and a crunch that way. Almost down to the hips here. Kind of this line, I designated hips at least. Oh, and next. Alright, same person. We have this curve kind of that way, there. We spent a lot of time on that head. Shoulders are kind of fading. The whole thing is covered in cloth, which, you know, I guess I better start doing the nude poses kind of off stream, but, you know, generally gotta start doing them. I feel like the torso's there and I don't have a good eye on, like, the hip. Things we know about it. The feet could be doing anything. So let's focus on moving on. Guess we don't need new layers for everyone, but alright, head. Give you some color. Let's add some color to our... Spending a lot of time adding color. Alright, head. Shoulders. We're just going big on this guy. I guess we go like, I don't know how we do the curve there properly, but spend a lot of time on it. So, I mean, if we shorten his legs up so we can see the whole damn thing, that's the problem we get for drawing big. But, what do I see? Generally, next. Alright, we gotta go faster. So, head. We do have him looking kind of at us. Generally, that direction. Generally straight on. Very foreshortened, like arm. It's kind of telling him, seems to be doing a lot here, but his shoulders are generally that way. We have torso, kind of crunching in a bit there. We've got the whole arm is just right in our face. It is the size of the head, or bigger. All hiding there. Shoulder comes down and new page. Alright. That's wild. Alright. So we get this shoulder here and an arm that's right, straight down. If we're doing the torso and trying to find the gesture there, we've got the back. All right, so we've got this back plane. Like almost like in the right back there. Same thing here. Line of the hand kind of drops just below the pelvis. And the other hand's on the other side. Not bad. Okay. Head down. We're seeing the top of the head. We're seeing shoulders drooping. I'm having to make up a lot of this with the cloth. Yeah, and I probably need to take time on my own to run the nude stuff, because seeing under the clothes, like, I'm just making guesses with what I know of, what I'm learning of, kind of a little bit of Bridgman lately. Alright, just trying to get some proportions right. Center head, like he's looking down. Right, like bop, bop. I mean, not quite right. There's definitely some issues here. The center should be the groin. It was. All right, next. Okay. Sideways, mostly sideways facing head. We are kind of there. Now his torso is left to right, generally a slant. We are kind of there with it. If we look further, like the sternum, right? Where is it at? It's like this. We have another pelvis bone. Right, and then there's more here. Proportions were crazy. All right, next. Okay. Now he's got kind of this thing going. The lengths there are bad. But bit of a twist to the torso, the pelvis, right here. If that's flat. The knee comes mostly short down. Proportionally, got some problems. Bop, bop. All right. Skipping this. Come on, y'all. Okay, wow. We've got looking down. Shoulders are straight, about twice the width of the ball of the head. Not quite, like the shoulders are flat, but the body isn't. Kind of there. Right, bam, bam. He's sitting. Looks to be the same angle. About there. Center line, horizontal. Just outside. There we go. Alright, next. We have like a just outside the... That's way too big. Ball of the head. Looking that way. Looking out and up. Kind of draw this. We have shoulders almost in here. Let's get the torso. I'm going to say straight on. and then tilted slightly for the pelvis. Just outside the elbow is the knee. Figured like we were getting somewhere faster. Oh, I see that one. That's good. I mean, probably more up here. But, you know, get the gun in. Get the lines in. Perfect. Next. I do feel like I'm getting better. He's standing straight at the camera. Like I'm better at like identifying poses at least. So this feels pretty good. There's too big of a neck there. Drawing and separating the torso and the pelvis has been, I feel like it's been helping. Let's make that knee a little bigger. You can't, it's hard to tell that that's foreshortened. Alright, so if I want to do something like that, how would I tell that story? Good question. But hey, Coffee Lord, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. You made it just in time for, I wouldn't call it gesture practice. And we're not doing the gesture. I'm trying to capture the pose, though. Of course, these are always tougher. Crossed arms. I've definitely tilted the head a lot more. Than I maybe would have otherwise. Alright, I can see it. I can see it here. Alright, let's see. What drones have you already done? I've done a handful. Yeah, I guess be more specific. Like, what art have I done in the past? Because, you know, we're learning. Not a lot. Been doing a handful of Luffy's. A Bakugo, an Ichigo. And we're making it up because we don't know kind of what's under here. Right? It's a bunch of whatever dress. But I'm mostly studying at the moment. So we get the face is kind of doing that. Is it? Kind of, is it more like this direction? Hard to tell. Okay, we need a new page. You are, I think this angle of this head, important. For the capture, I'm looking down like that. We've got shoulders are kind of in line with the bottom of the chin, and it's this like, this direction here. It's foreshortened, it's backwards. It's like going away from us. Like, foreshortened. Then the butt's kind of under the... we getting anywhere if I do some lines? Kind of. I think this line needs some work, but we're on the next one. Okay, this is a torso that I could probably capture twisted pretty heavily. Right, so the face is only mildly looking away. The pelvis is doing the same here. And we've got this foreshortened leg and this like kind of sideways leg. Little, I think it's almost flat out there. That is on the leg, and this is above the head. Amazing how rough I'd had these before. Like, I mean, these are kind of just sticks, but I feel like I'm capturing it a pose a lot better than I used to by just breaking down some key elements, like the direction of the head, the direction of the torso. This is like straight on, right? Bam, get the shoulders in here, a little wide there. There's a little bit of a lean back. It's hard to capture. Can I capture? Not there, more like, whew. Like she's got this big lean we should probably try to get, and it's the leg that's coming out that's like got this capture point there. Kind of like that. Okay. He's hunched over. We've got a shoulder kind of in line. Torso is going back and foreshortened. In fact, super foreshortened. We could even maybe put the pelvis in there. So we've got this like hand there and this hand down here. Kind of. I don't know. Kind of is a strong word. But for 30 seconds, we move on. Alright, ninja. That's complete side view. The torso itself, a little twisted. We've got a small slant to the shoulders. This one comes at us just a bit. It's again foreshortened and then up. Pelvis. So many circles for the pelvis. Right, it's kind of there. It's bigger than that. And there's some length and proportion issues. All right, next. I mean, that's almost entirely side view. Hip comes out a bit. we can see the legs. We can kind of see what happens, and that's not at the side. We want it like almost dead center. All right, we got some knees, some legs. Can we kind of see it? Make sure we're getting the right foot. Right, like there's something happening over here with this leg, this arm, and this foreshortening. And moving on. Alright, can't see a lot here, but I bet we could find some of it. So this is straight on, sideways, torso. There's, you know, some shoulders. Torso's a little big. We'll try to get that captured. Butt's out. There we go. We'll just say torso is a little big. Butt's pretty big. But if we're talking the gesture, I think we kind of hit it. It feels like a, you know, a method. Alright, next one. Some of these fucking poses are wild sometimes. Alright, let's see if we can capture the important bits. That was me, not you. Like, the direction of the head. The torso. I mean, it's a lot of the getting the angles and the perspective right. Proportions right? Like, this is hand. I mean, head's got to be a little bigger than that. We just drew kind of the circle. You know, hips a little bigger. We've got a line there and there, which gives us this like folded over legs. And we had that arm there somewhere, we'd be fine. All right, not too wild. One of my problems with a lot of these gestural drawings is I would prefer more natural looking poses until I'd figured it out, but I'm dealing with a lot of free resources. This guy, very fortunate for us that we have the sternum. It's very easy to see. It's flat on, and maybe a small tilt to the pelvic bone, which, you know, we don't. Alright, we gotta go faster. Stop, blop, and blop, blop, like this. And the legs. Bam, and bam. I am also in the middle of a Bridgman class, and it is teaching me a lot more than it's teaching me a lot. I'm learning quite a bit, and I'm having some fun with it. Just a YouTube Marshall something, but it's helping kind of get these initial sketches out for me. So we got this like motorcycle helmet here she's holding, so very foreshortened, and then just the arm that kind of hangs. There's more there, right? We could totally try to bring the chin, and there we go. Next, person running at the camera. Bop, bop. Shoulders kind of straight. Torso a little twisted as he's running, just a little. Let's exaggerate it though, see where we land. Pelvis. Right. doesn't feel like a really natural pose. At least it's facing the camera. Kind of making up and adding in some legs there. Alright, hello. Alright, so the face, generally what, like right there? We see the we can see the ear, right? We have, looking at us though, you're doing something. Anyway, too much head detail. You're kind of, shoulders are kind of there, torso's kind of leaning that way. Nope, let's just do this. Puts us on, really kind of at us. Does that, but then that is the kind of the pelvis. And I say we're exaggerating, but we're just inaccurate right now. Super inaccurate. All right, that one was tough. Same person. Now these horizontal ones are also tough. Like okay, I mean, we have a flow here. The arms kind of coming at the camera. We can clean some of it up. Some of the sizing. We've got kind of the center line right there. Cool. Cool. This person again, a lot of cloth. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna stretch. We've done a few. Oh, we've done 29. All right, let's finish the 30. Things we can see that we can clearly like bring out. Kind of the tilt to that head. Shoulders coming at the camera. Kind of down. If we can like make up the angles there. Nope, not there. It's coming up and taking the helmet, the hood that way. We've got kind of this angle on the torso. We've got legs coming back, hips out, right? There's a stretch there and a crunch there and a bigger hip. You know, and then whatever's happening, you know, down here. All right, number 30. All right, so we've got angle. Not that. There is a slight, or an exaggerated tilt to the shoulders. Straight under. And then something like that. Make good lines. And we've super exaggerated, like up here at the head and now the arm. Right, some of that pose. All right, there we go. Pose and 30 gestural drawings. Whew. Oh boy. Did we crash our reference? Have I been holding onto it down here the whole time? That's wonderful. That's all right. I got my art in. I got it in. Oh, feels good to do so many, and then feel so much better about them. I've got notebook's tucked away. I've got a sketchbook of just monstrosities that don't feel right. They don't feel like they capture anything. Um, but today, wait, we knocked a little bit more out. I think I'm saying that in a way that I'm kind of calling it. Kind of feeling studied out. I don't quite want to like sit down and doodle something fun today. So we're not going to let that, we're not going to beat ourselves up about it. Where's my pen holder? Ooh, hit that combo button. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are joining us for the first time, thank you. Hello, welcome. Long story short, we're learning how to draw. We're not teaching anybody how to draw. We're not guaranteeing this process is fantastic. Everything I say is not an expert opinion. It's a beginner thinking out their thoughts, and we're having a blast doing it. You're also at second that, hey, this is not super for you. It's for me. We're doing it for me, and that's okay. So the art's not going to be fantastic. It might get better. That's the hope. Hope you're joining me for the journey. But I think that's it. I don't know. I think that's the big point. I don't know how hard I should hammer. This ain't for you. This is for me. It's a fun thought that keeps me motivated to focus on learning and the study portion, and not just trying to put out things I think will impress people. But I don't know how much that is like a mantra for the stream. It's a journey, and we're taking it, and you can't stop me. Only I can stop myself. So we're gonna keep doing this. Please look forward to day 1000. We'll see what that looks like. I want to see day 1000 stream. That's a lot of years from now. I guess that's like 5 days a week times 50-ish weeks, 4 years. Maybe we'll see what day 100 looks like before we start talking about 1000. We're having a good time, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out, and we'll see you on Monday. Yes, our first full week for 2 weeks now. We'll be back on Monday. Wednesday we'll be watching for a new tablet to come in, but we probably won't get to play with that until Thursday. Thursday. So yeah, fun week. Have a good weekend, guys. Stay safe. Get some art done. For real. Hey, XYVP, good to see you, man. Hey, thanks for hanging. We're waving. We're definitely leaving now. Have a good one.